Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
Well, thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Annette Montgomery. Tonight we began with breaking news out of Wallingford, where officials confirmed there's a house fire on Grebe Road.
Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot joins us live after speaking with the fire chief moments ago. Kay, what did you find out?
Brent and Annette, Fire Chief James Buck said they received a reported fire call around 7:30 this evening. And as you can see behind me and to the sides of me, it's a very active scene here. Heavy fire was found when firefighters got to the scene. Volunteer Company 7 was the first to arrive. North Haven and Meriden provided mutual aid on scene. There was a mayday call for a firefighter, but he was able to get himself out and is now at the hospital. One dog was rescued, and there are no other injuries. The fire is now under control. North Haven and Meriden Fire Departments have been released, and the fire marshal is investigating what caused this fire. When we have any updates, we'll be sure to bring them. For now, live in Wallingford, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Kay, thank you. Also breaking tonight, Amtrak service between New York and Boston has been temporarily canceled for the rest of the evening due to a loss of overhead power. The disruption includes trains that operate between New York and New Haven. Amtrak says passengers can rebook for another day at no extra charge or request a full refund. Customers who are traveling from New Haven to New York may have their tickets honored on Metro North service to Grand Central. Crews are working to restore the power. There is no estimated time, though, for service to resume. And we are following breaking news in Cheshire tonight, where crews are cleaning up after a crash left behind hazardous material.
And we're told hundreds of gallons of oil were spilled across a road. Fox 61's Tim Latow has more from Cheshire.
Crews had been on scene and working since early Wednesday morning to clean up the oil spill. They've even had to go onto people's properties to do so. Now a concern for many homeowners is contamination in their water wells. And officials tell us that more than 1,000 gallons of oil were spilled in this.
It's a little scary just because we realized that because of where it spilled, then it could come down to our well. So we are looking at contacting a lawyer and making sure that we get our area cleaned up.
All of this took place on Mountain Brook Drive between South Brooksvale Road and Bethany Mountain Road. Cheshire Fire and police were on scene alongside the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. The company spearheading the cleanup is Environmental Services Incorporated. There were about a half dozen of their trucks on scene. Dump trucks brought in sand to contain the spill, while there were other tanker trucks here with hoses running into people's backyards. The oil tanker truck that crashed Wednesday morning was from FF Hitchcock Oil Company. The hood was off the truck, but otherwise it did not appear to be significantly damaged. The driver was not injured, and the truck was the only vehicle involved. The neighborhood is a private one with large houses and properties, and many people have water wells on their properties as well. That's been a concern for some neighbors about contamination. I asked if there would be an update on the cleanup, but workers did not expect to have one Wednesday night.
So in the meantime, just gonna drink out of water bottles and make sure that we're not exposing ourselves to anything.
And a situation like this isn't new to the neighborhood. There was a crash and oil spill 4 years ago on this road. In that crash, there were more than 2,000 gallons spilled, and it took a week to clean up. In Cheshire, Tim Latow, Fox 61.
Tim, thank you. Well, tonight, dozens of people are voicing concerns about the recent shutdown of the Yantic Volunteer Fire Department.
All operations had to stop Tuesday morning following an unsigned contract delivered less than 24 hours prior.
Fox 61's Valerie Moravi joins us live from Norwich now with reaction from people who live there. Valerie.
Yes, well, several people came forward Wednesday night to ask the city to reconsider their decision to shut down the Yantic Fire Department. Now, one of the biggest questions tonight was, and I quote, how much this is going to cost the people of Norwich.
This has been the culmination of 7 months of trying to get us all beating to the same drum.
Wednesday night, the City of Norwich community room was filled with dozens of concerned neighbors and members of the fire department who are demanding the city to reconsider its decision after shutting down the Yantic Volunteer Fire Department Tuesday.
The public is entitled to their opinion. They're allowed to be heard, and those are things that you have to respect as a city leader.
And as the community demanded transparency.
Where's the transparency? And the reason I say this, sorry, it's got me shaking a bit. You sent out a contract after business hours, expecting them to sign a 9-page contract at 10 a.m.
They asked the city to really think about the impact on their neighborhoods.
I have dealt with the Yantic Fire Department over the years. They came to my house when there was a fire. Norwich didn't show up until almost 10 minutes after them.
This is nothing more than a power grab. Unified means together, and what they're trying to do is the exact opposite. They're trying to tear a community apart.
But some neighbors believe the city's decision was mostly based on a tax rate increase than public safety.
Is there any thought on the part of the city council to increase the tax rate throughout the rest of the town to cover that increase that's going to occur in the professional department? Because I don't want to pay it alone.
Meanwhile, Norwich Fire Chief Samuel Wilson says,
It's not about the money, the things that I'm asking. It's about an overall improved program for all of the residents.
But the overwhelming support of the community for the volunteer fire department did not go unnoticed. Yantic Fire Chief Bobby Allen says he hopes to come to an agreement with the city for the best interests of the public.
Again, it is so overwhelming. I mean, the out-of-town chiefs have come up to us. People from all over from Norwich have come up to us and supported us. I'm always hopeful that we can move forward, on mutually agreed terms.
What I hope is for that utopia where I have a strong, vibrant, dedicated volunteer service. Thank you.
Now, it is unclear on whether both the city and the Yantic Fire Department will have a discussion over this meeting and come to an agreement. Reporting live in Norwich, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
Valerie, thank you. We are continuing to follow the death of Connecticut-born actor James Vanderbeek a little more than a year after he announced his cancer diagnosis. The actor rose to fame starring as Dawson Leary in the 1990s-era hit teen drama Dawson's Creek, but his life and career started in Cheshire, where he was born and later attended Cheshire Academy. Vanderbeek was a Cheshire Academy Town Scholar. That's a 4-year scholarship that goes to one incoming 9th grader who lives in town and shows leadership and ambition. Vanderbeek graduated in 1995 and was still involved with the Academy in recent years. Back in 2020, he recorded a virtual message for that graduating class where his main message to students was, "Do what you love." In a post to Vanderbeek's Instagram today, his wife said the 48-year-old met his final days with courage, faith, and grace. He was the father of 6 children with his wife, Kimberly. You'll find more coverage of all these breaking news stories on our free Fox 61 app. Just use the QR code on your screen to download it or go to fox61.com 24/7.
Developing tonight, we're learning new details about a school bus crash earlier today in Southbury. Police tell us a Region 14 school bus carrying students was hit this afternoon on Southford Road near Jeremy Swamp Road. Investigators say 65-year-old Richard Estee of Southbury struck the bus, forcing it into a third vehicle. 2 students were ejected and several others were taken to hospitals. Police say everyone is stable with non-life-threatening injuries. Estee was arrested and charged with driving under the influence and failure to obey a traffic signal. He was released on a $25,000 bond, and that crash now remains under investigation.
Windsor Locks police say a 93-year-old woman found face down in the snow last Sunday had left Bickford Health Care Center a little more than 3 hours earlier. Detectives used surveillance video to build a timeline. It shows Margaret Healy exited through a rear employee door at 1:50 a.m. She was reported missing at 4:45 and later found outside. Healy was pronounced dead at 6:46 a.m. Investigators say the door is supposed to be locked but is often propped open, and the keypad code was posted nearby. It's unclear whether the facility will face any consequences.
The New Haven Police Department has made 3 arrests in a New Year's Eve shooting that left a woman injured. Police arrested 54-year-old Hishimu Barker, 20-year-old Jacqueline Robinson, and 27-year-old Tyreek London. And that's in connection with that shooting near Chapel and Kensington Streets. Investigators say Barker opened fire on a vehicle where the other 2 men and a third person were inside. London returned fire after getting out of the car, and the woman was hit in the crossfire. Police are still searching for the third third person who was in the vehicle.
And a man has turned himself in to state police in connection with the serious crash in North Stonington last May. Gregory White is accused of driving recklessly and causing a crash that sent a 74-year-old woman to the hospital. Police say White was speeding on Route 2, drove onto the shoulder and the grass, and then hit a concrete drainage structure. Troopers say his pickup spun out of control and crashed into another car. White is also accused of running from the scene. The woman in the other vehicle was admitted to the ICU. White has since posted bond and is due in court later this month.
And over in Putnam, police have arrested an 18-year-old accused of stealing a car with a shotgun inside and leading officers on a chase. Police say the vehicle was reported stolen yesterday morning and spotted around 4 p.m. on Route 44. Officers say the driver, identified as Dublin Lowell, did not stop the car, and it was later found in Thompson with Lowell, a 15-year-old, and a 17-year-old inside, along with that shotgun. Police say the vehicle began smoking and eventually caught fire. Lowell's facing larceny and other charges and was scheduled to appear in court today.
Well, the city of Derby is calling on the community to pitch in and help after a fire displaced several families this past weekend. The fire happened Sunday on Derby Avenue, and the 0-degree temperatures and frozen fire hydrants made putting out the fire even more difficult. Luckily, firefighters were able to rescue all 10 people inside, and now the city is working to provide those families with things like food and clothing and other essential items. The city says donations of any amount are appreciated, and to make sure the families can get the support they need during their recovery.